Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tingling Tea, where we spill the tea on the cryptic and the creepy, the strange and the supernatural, the weird and the wonderful, and all that is phenomenally freaky. With me tonight, as always, is my co host. First, I'd like to introduce to you Miss Annabelle Chimpton.
Hey,
Hi, Annabelle.
what's the tea?
The tea is, we got a lot of tea tonight. But before we even talk about all of that, let's introduce our other co host, Mr. August Eddie Peterson.
Hey, what's up? It's freaking cold here. What is up with the snow that hit the Northeast this week? What is going on?
It's December. What do you expect? It's December. It is what it is. You know, that kind of stuff happens all the time at winter time.
Do you like my apparel?
It has inclement weather.
Yeah, that's an interesting headset.
That's cute.
It's my headset cozy. Do you like it?
It's like a headset, but you have sleeves for your arms.
You're ruining it. You're ruining my illusion.
Yeah, definitely. I know that the hat's gonna probably come off at some point tonight.
Oh, it's definitely coming off.
Yeah, definitely coming off.
That's actually that's the new staple of the show is the hat.
That's right. It's our new logo.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, you're definitely holiday-ish, so I could say that. You know,
I'm a holiday every day. Every day is a holiday for me and for those around me.
I can attest to that. So we have a really great show tonight. Tonight we are actually we have guests. We have the guest and the actors and the crew of the movie The Arrangement, which we all got to see last week. Well, I think that was last week. It
was last week. Very excited. It was a great movie.
I am so excited.
Yes.
Such a good movie.
It was a really good movie. Had a little twist in it and everything. We were very
that ending.
Yeah, and we
won't give it away, but we'll talk to the cast.
We won't. No spoilers here, really. We'll try not to do any spoilers.
But
anyway, before we start, though, I really wanted to talk to us. We actually talked about last week Cyberpunk, and we mentioned it as a game that we were playing. I know, Annabelle, you're playing it, and I'm actually getting ready to get the game. But in the news today, I read that anybody that digitally downloaded Cyberpunk on the PS4 or the new PS5, they're giving them a refund. Now, the reason why they're giving them a refund is because there's this particular game is so glitchy on the on these stations like Xbox and PS4 and 5, not so much on when you do it on the PC, but it's glitchy. And so there's been a lot of updates. Every time somebody signs in, there's an update. So they're giving them the option to get their money back.
All right, I'm taking this crap off. I can't with this anymore.
We kneo it.
This discussion just got
heated. Done. Now I got to make it look like I have hair. All right,
got heated in here. So
this Cyberpunk is just heating things up.
Cyberpunk, obviously, you know, with the people wanting to get their money back, I'm under the assumption, and maybe Annabelle, I might be wrong, that people are not going to want to get their money back. They like the game so much that they want to just keep it. And if they've gotten to a certain extent or a certain part of the game where they have all their mods and stuff, why don't they just want to wait and see what happens?
I think it's so the last time that this happened to a game was No Man's Sky, right? Back in 2015 or 2016. It was a game that was in development for years. Mm-hmm. People had been hyping it up, and when they play it and it's not what they're expecting and the performance is not there yet, then I think they just like have this reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people had really hyped this game up to maybe be something that wasn't in their heads, but it also runs really, really terribly on these last generation consoles.
Yeah.
I've been playing on my PC though with pretty much zero issues.
So what is the defect that people are all up in arms about? What exactly happened?
So people are getting like 10 to 30 frames per second performance on these old consoles, which when a lot of the combat is like really quickly paced, it actually does mess you up quite a bit.
Wow.
So
is this for PS4 or is this other platforms?
Yeah, for PS4. So I think it's fair to be upset because if you're going to make a game, like, I don't know, you shouldn't only have to run it on the super high-end consoles that most people don't have yet.
Exactly.
Or like a really high-end PC.
Yeah. And I mean, they are making patches for it, but let's just say when you get on the game, the last thing you want to do is sit there for 15, 20 minutes and wait for a download patch. That's not what you want to do. You
exactly.
want to get right into the game. So they're basically pulling it from PS4 and Xbox, anybody that has digitally downloaded the game. And they're giving them an option to take their money back. But most gamers as a whole don't ask for their money back. If they're, just like we talked about Friday the 13th, we know that there are some glitches and that we know that there are some issues.
We love the glitches on Friday the 13th. They're hilarious.
Well, we do love the glitches, but at the end of the day, based on what's going on behind the scenes as far as that lawsuit that's happening, people are still going to keep the game because you've gotten to a certain extent in the game where you have things that you want to keep. You just don't want to just pull it out. I don't think that gamers are that angry. We'll wait because we know that it's a good game, and Cyberpunk has gotten many really good reviews, although most of the bad reviews have been for people that have gaming consoles. So, but that's not the case with people who have it on a PC.
So the company also actually didn't let people with like consoles show footage of the game that had the early review options. They weren't allowed to show actual footage from consoles before it released. So this was an unknown to people that bought it. And I think that's unfortunate. I think they just should have not released it on last gen. They should have just gone forward with PS5.
I agree. This is part of standard testing, right? Compatibility testing that any game needs to be released on. You test it on all your different platforms before it gets released. Make sure that it works.
They obviously had no QA budget or no QA team on this game because the amount of bugs that anyone can run into is pretty wild. I've seen glitches in the game too that aren't game breaking or really bothersome, but there's still glitches that I pick up.
At the end of the day, they wanted that money and that's what they got. They got the money, but the gaming community is pretty loyal. And so they're going to stick with them until they fix the glitches.
Yeah. And, I'm sure it was a Christmas push too.
Yeah, there was.
I'll keep the game.
Yeah.
I think anyone that returns it right now is probably a big baby. So I'll put it out there. If you buy a game on day one or the first couple of days, you probably deserve it because the early reviews are out the first couple of days. And if you pre-order by now, you should also have learned your lesson many games ago.
I see that Mia is with us tonight. Mia, tell us if you're going to return it or not. Let us know. She bought the disc. She bought the disc.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get the game. I don't care. I love what it looks like. I love the fact that it's like it's fire to me. So I'm definitely.
And you just want to play it because it's got Keanu in it.
That's exactly right. Took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, it is no secret.
I mean, who wouldn't want to have Keanu in a game? Who wouldn't want to do it? So
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't say no to that.
I'm definitely going to get it. I just made a really great purchase, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm excited about getting that game as a component to, my new purchase. So definitely, I'm going to be getting it. So the next thing that we need to talk about before we actually go into meet our guests is: did you all hear about the rant that Tom Cruise spewed upon his production for Mission Impossible 7?
I heard about it, and then you sent me a link to it.
Yeah. So I didn't read my daily
as well.
I didn't read my daily Tom Cruise feed today, so do you mind enlightening me a bit?
Scientology Daily? You didn't get that?
Scientology Daily. No, I don't want to start drama with them.
You know, okay.
So what happened is apparently and we know this often if you've done any film shoot, but right now, especially during COVID, everybody has to be compliant when they are on a set. They're doing testing on sets. They're making sure that everybody is COVID free. And they are actually doing all of this to make sure that no one who is, one of the main actors or any of the actors on set or anybody else for that matter gets sick. So apparently, and we don't know what preceded this rant, but I mean, he's known for his rants, but this one has a lot of expletives in it. So I really couldn't show it like I wanted to. But he is going off. What I do.
This is a rated R rant. This is a rated, not a family friendly rant.
It's not a family friendly rant, so we can't really show it. I could show you reactions to it, but I would rather talk about it. There's a lot of F-bombs in it. But basically what he was saying is that if he found out anybody else was not compliant on set, that he was going to pretty much fire their behinds. And he meant it. He meant it. Because as the actor or the main character in this, he's mostly walking around without a mask on. So he stands to get sick as a result of other people not being compliant. And I'm sure some of the other actors too. When you're sitting in a makeup chair, you can't wear a mask while, people are putting on your makeup and stuff like that. You have to, be mask free. And, everything else that you have to do on set is all mask free because we live in it. The movie industry is a place of illusion. So nobody's going to be wearing a mask in Mission Impossible 7, unless it is called Mission Impossible 7 COVID-19.
I'm pretty sure
that is scary. I would watch that.
That's a scary one.
Wasn't the first Mission Impossible, it starts off with someone in a mask. So
you're trying to incorporate it into the
well, you're talking about a mask that looks like somebody else, but not a COVID mask.
Mask is a mask is a mask.
No, honey, it is not. It is not.
Remember we saw what was it, Batman? Wasn't it Batman that had to stop production because their lead had COVID-19?
Yes, because he got.
And the bat mask actually covers everything but the parts that it needs to. So
it's not a very effective mask, actually.
No.
For COVID-19, I wouldn't recommend the Batman mask for COVID-19.
The nose and the mouth are still free, so no. So no, that's not going to happen.
It's more like the Iron Man mask. That would be a good COVID mask.
Because he can go into space with that, so it's fully self-contained.
That's definitely,
totally.
Yeah, definitely that. But unfortunately, no. So he really went off, y'all.
Can we have a whole episode where we just rate superheroes' masks' efficacy against COVID-19?
Well, let's write that down right now.
Yeah.
It's that.
I'll write it down.
What are you drinking tonight, Les?
Tonight I am drinking hot apple cider. That's
hot apple cider.
Hot apple cider. And
tonight I tried to make mulled wine, and I did not use a recipe, and I can tell you it is the most god-awful piece of crap I have ever had in my life. It is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting.
What made you?
But it has wine in it, so I'm still drinking it.
But what made you decide to do that?
Because I was thinking it's wintry. A year ago, I was in Germany. We were going to all of these Christmas festivals, and in every Christmas festival, they have a mulled wine place where it smells fantastic, and you drink these unique cups, and you walk around. They have a different cup for every festival, and it's just this fantastic way to spend the Christmas time. And I tried to recreate it, and I think I pretty much failed. It's like red wine and potpourri in my glass. It's horrible.
Yeah. I can't even believe that you tried to do that blindly. Without doing I don't know what you were thinking, without having a recipe.
I'm living life on the wild side. I don't know what you.
Obviously. And Annabelle, are you drinking anything hot tonight?
It's not hot. It's like mulled wine, but without the mold part. I just dumped it in the cup.
Oh. So am I the only one that's compliant tonight with my?
You're not drinking tea.
I'm not drinking tea, but I do.
No, you're not. I'm drinking. There's tea in here somewhere, but It's not only tea.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not drinking tea, but I'm definitely here tonight to spill some. So.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So you all, let's talk about the film, the arrangement, before we do that. So let me just give everybody the synopsis of the film. It's two detectives investigate a string of mysterious murders tied together by photographs. Okay, so that's like the quick reading.
That's a really top level synopsis.
Yeah, real top level, really. I mean, I'm going to go into depth because we're really going to talk about it with our guests. But we all had the pleasure of actually watching the film. And for all three of us are huge fans of anything that has to do with sci-fi and horror. So it's very, right now, especially when we're featuring a lot of people who are doing independent productions, it's very hard for us to come across something that we just like, really, really like. So far, we've been batting 1,000 with the films that we've been watching. But this one actually made our top list, and we really, really liked it. We're going to talk with the cast and the crew because they all have like double roles in this. This is an independent film. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and introduce our cast. And this would be, we have director, writer, producer, Jake Hunsaker, and his dad, Andrew. Hey, you all.
Hey there.
We have actor, producer, Jennifer M.K.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thank
and
you.
then we have actor, producer, Amy Teresa. Hi.
Hey, Amy.
Yay! We're so happy that you are here.
Hi.
We're so excited. We've been waiting for this day. So much so that I actually thought you all were supposed to be on last week. And Andrew had to correct me because I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, you are supposed to be on next week. So I'm so excited that you all are here. Thank you for coming.
We were prepared for this last week. Last Friday, we were ready for this conversation.
Yeah, we were prepared for this. So the interesting thing about this film, which we really thought, and Hash, can you pull up the display that I have on it? This film has such a strange dynamic to it that we were totally unprepared for that. But even more so, this film has Eric Roberts in it as well, which always means that when he starts a film, you know it's going to be something for you to watch. So we were really excited when we saw this at the beginning. Very well written, totally threw us for a loop. We were talking about it the next day at work about it. We just really, really loved the film. We really absolutely loved the film.
And it was shot beautifully.
Yeah, I was just about to say the
gorgeous.
cinematography was incredible.
That's what that's really stuck with me.
Yeah, we really love the cinematography of it. So I know that Andrew and Jake, you both wrote it. Tell us a little bit about what you came up with this concept about this film.
I wrote it. My name is Andy Hunsaker. I wrote it in the year 2000, actually, the first draft. And Jake, I have 4 children, and Jake is one of them, of course, but they were all under 10. And I was a frustrated actor. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. I didn't do it. And so as a 38-year-old, 36-year-old man, I was a little frustrated. So I thought, I'm going to write a screenplay. What I find interesting, what happens to people who sell their soul to the devil have to give it up? And so I took that idea, put together the script, wrote it, had an option a couple times, didn't work out, put it on the shelf, picked it up again when I started acting, and I got it optioned again too, and I thought, I had it made, and I really did in 2012 or 13. And then it didn't happen. The option ran out, and then didn't pick it up again. So I kind of thought, well, let's try and do it ourselves. I had met Jen and I had met Amy and Nanny Donnelly through my acting travels, and I look around and I realize I got a great director right here. So, and I've been on enough sets to know where the camera's pointed. So I thought, let's try and do it ourselves. So Jake and I went through the script and updated it, and he was amazing to help bring it up to speed, because you have to remember, technology-wise, it's changed. And I'm old.
That was the biggest thing.
That
That modern.
It was horrible.
Just let the youngins take care of it. It's okay. It's totally okay.
Or it's like just do it. getting with Jennifer Kay and Amy Teresa and Danny Donnelly, we just started to. They're kind of like our film family. We've done a bunch of films together and other projects together, and so we just got together and got just did it ourselves.
You did an excellent job. What I think about, what I really loved about this is there's a moral component to this film that we did not see, because you know, where other films may be, you know, dealing with a lot of special effects and stuff like that, which you did have in this film. You told this story in a way where we were dealing with a supernatural force here, but we didn't really absolutely have to see all the antics behind this. We saw it, but it was so. I think that mostly our mind actually envisioned everything was going to, because we realized somewhere in the film that we were like, oh my gosh, we're dealing with a demon or something that's satanic here, or you know, totally not anything, or something that's you know, a jinn or a genie or whatever. We really did not know. I figured it was the devil because there's a scene in there where people had to sign in blood. So I was like, this has to be totally not what we expected. Just definitely not what we expected. Just an excellent film. And this is Nanny Donnelly. He actually played the lead in the film, which he played it just amazingly. Everybody was just wonderful in the cast.
Yeah, Danny, I love Danny's character because he goes through such an arc.
Yeah.
He's like the extreme, like so wound up. And then he has to sort of, in order for him to be successful, he has to break out of that. I just love that you know, forced situation that creates his discomfort and therefore growth throughout the rest of the movie. It was so interesting to watch that arc throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
It was really good. And Jennifer, how many times are you cast as a cop? I'm just curious.
This is the first time I've ever been cast.
You're like the perfect cop. Yeah. I gotta tell you.
Thank you.
Like, how is it that you are cast as this role all the time? How are you not typecasted? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very, very, very believable. Just whatever it is that you did, wherever you went to get to that, it was extremely believable.
I talked to a lot of retired cops. Well, not a lot, just mainly one. But he was our sound guy on set, and he gave me a lot of tips, especially like how to hold the gun and like how to pull it out and stuff like that. Because I was really concerned about the authenticity of that. So sorry, my dog's squeaking a toy in the background.
That's okay.
What kind of dog do you have?
I actually have 3 rescue dogs.
Oh,
so they're all mutts.
Cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
A girl after our own hearts.
Oh, totally. Yeah, Les has like 6 cats, like on the floor in her room.
Yep. Don't add one more to me, please.
Yeah.
So we really, really loved it. And what I also loved is that you felt so much compassion for the characters, in particular, like Amy Teresa's character. Her character, oh my gosh. Your heart went out to this character. You wanted the best for her and her love interest, which was Danny Donnelly in the movie, that you wanted to see them work out. You wanted to see that relationship work out. But there was so much nefariousness going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Just so much evil going on. It totally, you know, I was so shocked. I was shook about certain things. In particular, this
we can't give that away, though. We can't give away the end.
I'm not trying to, but there's another scene in there. There's a scene in there that I think that every one of us as a woman has faced, that I could identify with. And it's a scene with Detective Alvarez and her partner, and what he does to her, which is I think there's almost every woman has been in that scenario before. And what do? And here's such a strong character. She's faced with this dilemma of being, I would say in a way, brutalized. She's living in a misogynistic type of, scenario there. It was, I wasn't expecting that scene, but I have to tell you, the amount of emotion that came up after I saw that scene was like, I was so angry, and then I was hurt. I just was like, oh, I hope she gets him back, in some way. When you prepared for that scene, how was it for you to prepare for that scene?
Uh, uh, well, with any scene that has that kind of emotion, especially under those the circumstances of what happens before, it's you kind of go to like a darker place, and I draw from a lot of experiences that like you said, pretty much every woman has probably been in some sort of situation, not maybe exactly the same, but similar, like with an abusive man involved somehow. So, anyways, so I just kind of drew from like some of those darker places or things that I've gone through, and then kind of just tried to pull in what I would do if I was her and how I would have reacted. And so, yeah, it was definitely a lot of preparation. And we filmed that day, that whole scene was one day. So that was actually, that helped a lot. So we went right through it like in order. So that worked well.
Oh,
yeah.
That was very, very hard to watch, I would say.
Yeah. What I really liked about the Andrew and Jake's choice for that scene, especially, is that they didn't show anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was all implied, and I think that that's such a strong choice because you don't really need to see it. And why put people through seeing it when you can still imply, like, show that it happened without actually showing it. And I really liked how that was done. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I thought it was well done too, because I think what I imagined was probably even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And putting yourself in that situation, so it was just hard to imagine what happened to her. And then the next day she's at work, with her makeup on, just like, just normal, but she had gone through this night of hell pretty much with this person.
Trying to put on the brave face the next day. Yeah.
Very, very well done. Amy, I remember when I was looking at some pictures of you online, you have so many different looks. So many different pictures online that I was like,
thank you.
Which one is this person? And in this character that you play in this film, you can't help but be compassionate for this character, what this character is going through. What did you draw for this character?
So I feel like Melissa she's got a lot of conflict, like, internally. So I just try to play around with that, like knowing what she does want, but she knows she doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of like that pulling back and forth between wanting to be happy, but feeling too much guilt to allow yourself to be happy. So
she'll be back so we can go back and talk to her.
That could be good. That could be the devil call.
I think that's so.
Please go ahead.
Amy had such a depth from the moment she appeared. Like, there was obviously a lot of work that she had done to get into this character, because the moment she appeared, she already had all the background done, and you knew exactly what this character was offering right from the beginning. Hey, right. Amy, welcome back.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, immediately when she came on the scene, you knew this. And it was kind of a cute moment because the two characters actually meet on like a Tinder date, which was totally unexpected.
Which I loved, which was one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Just gotta say that. It was so good.
Yes, a totally unexpected Tinder date that was a successful Tinder date because they found each other. And it's like right after we got through watching that, then a Tinder commercial came on about all the people that have gotten hooked up and married from a Tinder commercial. I was like, somebody's listening to us, because why would this commercial come on right afterwards showing people who have had these successful relationships from Tinder? But it was just really, really wonderfully done. Now, Andrew, I asked you how you came up with this concept, this particular story with all the twists and turns, you and Jake. How did you all come up with this plot, this story?
It was really based upon, the process of what happens when people who sell their soul to the devil have to die. What happens when they have to give it up, which we thought was pretty interesting. And the movie Seven, have you ever seen the movie Seven?
Yeah.
That resonates with me. So the whole 7 deadly sins, so one of the catch lines in the arrangement is, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And Jen says that in the beginning. that's the idea. And it's also a lot about what we do to each other as humans to get what we want. Usually the people close to us, we're pretty bad. It's pretty horrific things that we can do to each other, to people we love and also people around us, just to get what we perceive to need. So that was kind of the basis of it. But it's a fun film. I mean, it's not a.
So it's definitely fun because you don't recognize the immensity of the situation that you're in until the very end of the movie, right? You think you're just on like a whodunit or something like that, and then you're following along this character, and then you realize the tentacles of this theme just keep reaching out, and it like picks up every character. I love it. It was so good.
That's exactly how I felt. That was a good way to word it. The whole time I was like watching this, I'm like, oh, this is a fun detective movie, and then it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Look at this that Jennifer is serving right here. Look at this look.
That's her. Yeah, with the apple too. There's so many volumes because what it applies to me is Eve with the apple, because she's in control now. But that's exactly what that's about. It's an awesome picture right there. Everything that she's serving up at the end of this end of this film. Such a perfect, shot of that. When you all did this and stuff, how did you get Eric Roberts to actually get on this film? How did that go about?
Honestly, Jennifer worked with him on Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, I worked with him on another film, and so I worked with the person from the other film to get him on this film. But I knew him from the other film because I was the assistant director on a previous film, so I worked closely with him. So he knew who I was and what kind of set we would have. So he was actually really happy with a lot of the things because I knew ahead of time what he wanted, and I told Andrew, and so we were prepared for him. So
that was huge. That was a big deal. We generally, and it was a very small set. We're an indie film, man. We had a couple actors most days, and we all played. We're different hats. Everybody did everything really. On the days Eric, we had like 25, 30, 40 people for background and things like that, and we tried to up the game a little bit, to make it, better. But I can't say enough about how cool he was. He just came in and did the job, and Jen having that previous relation with him really helped us prepare for him. Yeah. So we made it very easy.
Yeah. Now I have a very funny story about Eric. Eric has a reputation, amongst people and stuff like that. So I've heard good and bad things about him. It's interesting enough. I have another position with a group of people called the Bitten Apple TV, where we go to cons and we actually interview artists and creators that are at these cons. And so we went to the Great Philadelphia Con about a year or so ago, and Eric was there, and I am a huge fan of his. I mean, an absolutely huge fan of his. I pretty much watched every movie that this man has been in, because he's been in over like 500 films. And I wanted to really talk to him from the perspective of being an actor, and how is it that he continually renews himself. He's continually visual. He's out there so that a new audience can see the new, Eric Roberts. So I went to go interview him, and he asked me what I was. And so I said, well, we're just the local press here, and I'm going to be speaking to you from the perspective of a fan. So he said, well, what kind of questions are you going to ask me? And I said, well, I don't know. Let's just have an organic interview. Anything. We're just going to be talking about acting and, how many years you've been in film and how many films you've been in and what was probably your best film that you've been in and why it was. So he said, no, I'm not going to take the interview, just like that. So I was like crushed. I was crushed. So I turned around and I said to my cameraman, he's not going to take the interview. I guess he's having a bad day. So he says, well, do you want to take a picture with him? And I said, no, I don't want to take a picture with him, because I was just like done. Just while I was walking away, he turns around, he goes, do you want to take a picture with me? And I said, no, like that. He goes, come on, let's take a picture. So he comes behind me and he gets like really close to me and takes a picture. And I'm like fuming. I'm so mad because he wouldn't take my interview. But I went ahead and
Look at
smiled.
that acting, though. Look at that
That's
acting of
definitely
that
the
photo.
actress right there. Yes, you know.
I can see the rage. I don't know.
I was super upset, but I went ahead and smiled. And then within like 2 days later, my brother was working with him on the set of something, and they're friends, and he takes a picture with my brother. And I said to my brother, how did you manage it? Because, oh, he always like photobombs my pictures and stuff like that. Like, we're really good friends. I said, yes, but he denied your sister an interview 2 days ago. I said, wasn't it funny that he would know that we're brother and sister? So I put this picture on Facebook because I wanted to say the dynamic of this person, you know, that he totally loves my brother, but he denied me the interview. So that's why I was like, how did you all get him to do this? What I do know about him is that he's extremely supportive of the independent film. He's extremely supportive of that. And this is why this man consistently works, because he supports people telling stories without a big Hollywood budget. And he does it successfully. He supports it successfully. So I was really happy to see that he was in this film, because he must have really believed in it.
I can just say, I mean, he was great on set. He and the photo bombing and the pictures. He's very generous that way. But yeah, I guess, you know, sometimes he was prickly in some ways. He wanted to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I mean, he was fantastic. We actually did a radio interview with him, right, Jen and Jake? We did a behind the scenes interview. Yeah. And we had to clear the room to make sure it was quiet.
Yeah,
like so
particular about.
But that was during the day to say, yeah. So I think it's particular. But I'm glad you got to meet him.
Yeah, I did get to meet him. I just felt that probably he's very particular about who he gives information to, and he didn't know me. And if one thing that I would do is I would protect him in that sense, that I wouldn't go in areas that he would feel uncomfortable about. But I guess I didn't have any plan about what I wanted to interview about, except to sit there and just talk about filming and being an actor and how do you keep yourself relevant today, you know, being of a certain age or whatever. So it was going to be just completely based on that. But yeah, I could tell that he, based on what I guess, whatever my answer was, it wasn't good enough for him to think that I was going to have this, that this was going to be a comfortable interview for him. So we just decided not to do it. But he did he was gracious enough to take the picture with me. Yeah. And then the other thing that we have in common, and Hash, can you pull up this picture?
Yeah,
Brian, the man.
Brian and I did one of our first films together. It was a film called Destiny, and it was It was directed by Pear Smith. And I have to tell you, this gentleman right here made me laugh so much on set. Yeah. He's one of the most hilarious people that you could be around on the set. Really wonderful actor. And when I saw him, you know, playing the senator, I just jumped up for joy, because it's good to see him. He's constantly working. And I know why, because he's just an excellent actor. He's very giving. You know, he comes in, he does his job. He's professional, wonderful man. So shout out to Brian. Just wanted to say that. So what do you all want to, go ahead.
I was going to say, we were lucky to get Brian and talk about like great actors. Awesome. You mentioned earlier the cinematography early on, and we didn't mention Brian Keenan was our DP. Brian Keenan is
really
fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Dax Richardson played, Nick Devlin, and Allison Kessler played Jefferson. I mean, we have Mike McFadden and Michael Johnson and Melissa O'Donnell and all these. Sophia Perola,
KJ Linhan,
Bev Gunn, Ariel Anderson, the princess. I could go on and on about how great these actors were. And you talk about the characters, and they're very generous. They brought them to life. I mean,
really,
we were so blessed to have the great actors. Eric, Brittany Amber. It's you know, even, you know, as we got down the road, we had people on set who were doing one or two lines or maybe a half a day, and these guys are lead actors in a lot of indie productions. Mike Sutton is a good example. Yes. You know, Danny Plaza. There's guys who, you know, just came in and did, and they killed it. So we were so lucky to have that. So you talk about good acting, top to bottom.
We had a lot of that,
and that was
everybody really fit their role too, which was really good. There just was not, you know, somebody that you've actually sometimes it's like putting a square peg into, a round hole. Everybody was so perfect for their roles. So perfect. I honestly felt at sometimes that I was looking at something that I wasn't supposed to be looking because it was so authentic that I was looking and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be looking at the scene. In particular, the scene when they were doing the X-rated film.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, should I be looking at this? It was so good. It just, the whole atmosphere that you created. And of course the cinematography, which we, definitely loved, was just exceptional. It really was. What is your hope for the film? Where do you want it to go to a greater audience? I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm speaking too much with these guys. But we're looking at right now. It's out on cable, on demand. In the Northeast, you're talking about Comcast and Verizon, Cox Communications out west. So basically, if you shout into your remote control arrangement 2020, if you have one of those things, it'll come up. Also, it's on DVD and Blu-ray on Amazon. We're looking at actually having an international deal in India that might be coming through right now. So that's where it is now. I'm looking at more platforms coming out, but that's where you can find it. And we hope to just continue to have platforms and territories into 2020. It's going to be a good year. So far, it's been fantastic.
Just general expansion, really. Just hope more people see the film as it goes on.
Yeah, watch the film. The more you watch it, the distributor Gravitas Ventures will roll it out to more places.
That's amazing. What do you think is like the next step in this? Is there a sequel? Is there what is the next step in propelling this forward?
It's kind of hard. We thought about both ways. We're like, which one would be cooler? A sequel would be like same kind of dynamic, but completely different characters for the most part. Maybe a couple ones, but then the prequel would be interesting, but definitely harder, obviously, to do. Make it be a period piece all of a sudden, more so than it was in certain parts.
But the characters are timeless, at least from a standpoint of Eric's character and things like that. Also, a couple of things. Jen and Danny talked about off the cuff a comedy series, right?
Yes.
Frickin' Alvarez.
I was wondering if you're going to bring that up. We were pulling for a spinoff because when we got to play our characters in some of the more lighthearted, funny parts, like in the first half of the movie, we could really have a lot of fun with the dynamic between the two of those characters. So
totally, those are great characters.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes, you should definitely do a spinoff. I would watch it.
I got really strong Monk vibes when I was experiencing it.
Yeah.
Or that Clark Kent. He reminded me of a bumbling Clark Kent.
The mustache. The mustache alone deserves award.
The mustache was giving me like Commissioner Gordon from Batman vibes a bit too, with the mustache look.
We definitely, I definitely talked to him about having a Joaquin Phoenix look from Her too, a little bit.
Oh yes.
Oh wow!
I see the Commissioner.
That's a perfect comparison.
Wow. Yeah, you all's characters, the dynamic of the two of you all was just amazing. I mean, she was so, not I wouldn't say she was so driven, and he was so he was driven once he loved women. Definitely so that, but this is somebody who didn't want to rock the boat. Frick was somebody that didn't want to rock the boat, but he was hilarious. And he there were scenes where he felt uncomfortable in a scenario, and you actually felt uncomfortable with him.
Yeah, that's true.
So just very well done. The relationship between all of you all, just amazing. Really, really well done.
So Amy, how did you prepare for all of those scenes? Like all of those challenging scenes where you had to really feel so you had to really dig deep into the depths of your inner turmoil. How the heck did you prepare for that? And probably do it over and over again, I imagine. Take after take.
Yeah, I don't really know. I just kind of just went with it in the moment. I feel like there's a lot of emotional stuff written there anyway, so I felt like that helped a lot. So I didn't.
It was pretty obvious.
Felt really.
You had so much emotion that was just so accessible. I'm sorry, we're having a little bit of audio delay, but you had so much emotion that was just so accessible and like right on the edge. I was always like not sure if you were just going to completely break down. Like, are you going to be able to get through this next scene? I'm not quite sure. And then to see that scene in particular, I love the way that scene began. That's good.
See in the film, honestly. It might be, I think.
Yeah, that's Jake's favorite scene.
It's one of ours too.
This is like a painting. This was so beautiful. I loved it. When it first came on, I gasped. It was so beautiful. It was just beautifully shot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amy just holds it. I mean, she's amazing. I mean, makes you. We worked with Amy before, and we worked on her projects, and she's worked on ours. It's kind of a family, but when she talks about being in the moment, she really is. I mean, she can really deliver. And we had her and Allison Kessler and Dax Richardson and Sophia. Well, we did a lot of scenes. I mean, there was a lot of the energy, man, like of the stage. A bunch of stage actors who just get it together and do it when they need to. And we had a lot of times with that too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was a challenge with Amy at times when you were watching her, because I was like, I'm trying to like pay attention to the monitor, make sure everything's in frame, make sure everything's going on, and she's just going on with like the monologue in the church, and it's so heartbreaking. I'm like getting into my own feelings about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be objective. Just watch the frame and watch the monitor, but then Amy's over here like making me cry. I'm like, damn.
You definitely were rooting for her character and
Definitely.
character when they were together. You were extremely rooting for that romance because they were just, we wanted. It just was such a. We already knew probably about three quarters of the way of the film that we were dealing with. Something that was an overall evil. So you were hoping that at least love survives in this whole world that was created by the film. So we really, really loved it. So you're thinking about possibly having a sequel. Now, obviously you all work very well together. What about this cast being an ensemble cast? For all your films. I mean, this is a similar thing that a lot of people do nowadays. If they keep the same cast to come in and do roles for films like American Horror Story or something like that. They have the same rotating cast playing different roles.
And do different roles. We actually mentioned that too. And I thought you were going where we worked together a lot. I mean, and we used a lot of the people in arrangement. Jennifer and Amy did a series called Certifiable, which Dax was in, and Allison.
Yeah.
So it's funny that way. But yeah, in terms of the American Horror Story, that gives you a great chance to do something different. So that is probably the best way to do it, I think. And I think the way things are being done now with Watchmen and all these kind of what's the other one, Lovecraft Country?
Lovecraft, yeah.
Yeah, it broadens your horizon to what you can do. And it's really cool. So that's
so much you could do with the fact that they are dealing with a demonic presence in this, and maybe do an origin story of the demonic presence and how it affected. You have a whole world that you all could create with this particular storyline. But you obviously all work very well together. I definitely think that you all should be stay connected and just do more films based on this, like a sequel or prequel or whatever.
Are you stage actors as well?
Amy.
Amy's the stage actor.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. A stage actor, you got to be good. Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm afraid to talk.
It's okay. It's okay.
A stage actor, you got to be good all night. A film actor, you only need to be good for 15 seconds, right?
Yeah. Me and Andrew actually are really bad actors for the most part. That's why we do film.
Yeah, good director, and just let us like.
Oh, well, the goal
Well,
is-
you had me fooled.
Oh,
Good for you.
definitely had me full too, because I really thought that you all did it very well. It was very authentic. So
It
That-
was.
It's a shout out to Philly actors too. A lot of good Philly actors.
yeah,
I was going to ask where was it filmed? It was filmed in
I saw
Philly.
the Philly
Yeah.
license plate. I saw a Philly license plate, so it obviously was in Philly. So
It was.
I thought it was Pittsburgh. I don't know why. I just thought it was Pittsburgh.
Yes, Philly, Roxborough, and what is the other place?
Partially out.
Westchester, Allentown.
Rochester, Allentown. Yeah, some in Allentown. But I think more exteriors where the exteriors were. Where was their mom's house? What town was that?
That's my hometown. The restaurant is Douglasville.
No, the exterior. Never mind.
Oh,
Perry's exterior. Where was that? What town was that?
Town. Outside of
That's it. Okay.
yeah, there was a few. And we also Bucks County Community College.
Montgomery County.
Monroe, yeah.
Sorry, gosh,
Bluebell.
Yeah. With independent films, you gotta get locations when you can. I mean, Jen, we used her house as Harry's house. That's now Jen, I guess, right? I'm assuming. And
Yep. And my car has been in as many movies as I have, so my car's pretty famous now too.
Does it have a
I
union?
love independent filmmaking. I love it. There's nothing like it.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
No, definitely. Oh, well, we really hope really wonderful big things come with this, and we want to see more of you all. More of what's going to come of this storyline, more of this production company. We really thoroughly enjoyed the film. We can't recommend it enough to our audience to basically go and support this film, The Arrangement. And if you do support it, hit us up on our Facebook page or our YouTube page and let us know what you thought about the film. We definitely want to have you all come back at some point, just to come back and just talk, because you never know what's going to end up happening with this.
We got to talk about your next project. That's what we need to talk about.
Can I just make one quick plug?
Please.
Sure. Yes, and please let's go around. And if you are getting ready to do something, or you're about to be in something, if you want to sell your show, you want to give everybody your social media so that they can follow you on Instagram and Facebook, please do so. So go ahead, Jennifer, you go first.
So Amy and I have a show called Certifiable. It's a comedy series. It's out on Amazon now, and Andrew's in it, and Dax is in it, and Allison's in it, and Melissa's in it. So literally, basically the same cast, but now in a comedy. So I'd love for you guys to check that out. It's really funny, easy watch, short format. Certifiableseries.com. And Instagram, Jennifer MK, or certifiable_series. So those are, they're pretty funny.
I have just added that to my watch list.
Yeah, I'm also adding that to my watch list right now.
I am excited. That
My
is
vacation starts.
weekend viewing.
It's funny seeing the arrangement for you, seeing the arrangement first and then going to Certifiable. I think it's going to be really enjoyable to see like Melissa and Jessica now being something totally different. It is off the wall. So
I'm a huge fan of Off the Wall. The more ridiculous, the better for me.
The synopsis is two actresses who wish they were as famous as they think they are.
That sounds so good.
We love it. We love it. And Amy, where can we find you? Where can people follow you on social media?
Amy Teresa 01. So on Instagram, I'm Amy Teresa 01, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm also working on Certifiable. Definitely check that out. And I have a project coming up that I wrote and called Last Known Location, which includes all of the people that were a lot of the people who were in the arrangement. So that should be coming out sometime, maybe next year. So.
Okay, we're looking forward to that.
Y'all, this website is hilarious. Certifiableseries.com. Hilarious website. You must go type that right now to URL. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
Andrew, Jake, where can we find you all?
I'm really Facebook. That's where I'm at. So you'll find me there.
Yeah, and the arrangement's at the arrangement 4 on Twitter. It's at the arrangement number 4. On Instagram, it's at the arrangement movie, and that's on Facebook too. And I'm on those things. Andrew Hunt's
Also, Noble F Productions on Facebook too.
no one, but yeah, the arrangement movie at the arrangement movie, and you'll find the film. And we're looking to start doing some more work once it gets a little easier to shoot. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. We're doing a season 2 of Certifiable, hopefully in the spring.
I'm already excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait to watch it.
This is like exactly what I want.
Real quick, we wanted to talk about the fact that we were talking about Tom Cruise going off on his production crew regarding the COVID restrictions and stuff. What do you all think about that?
Personally, I don't know. I mean, I think that I saw some of the video, and he looks like a dick, obviously, like the way he does. But I understand it. I mean, I kind of understand it. I mean, everybody from PA to grip to everybody on set needs to adhere to the protocol, and it's an industry that's it's in trouble right now. I mean, as is many other industries in the country. So I think it's important that everybody takes the precautions extremely seriously on set. So I can't give him as much crap as everybody else is giving him, to be honest. I kind of respected it a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So I all I know is that what you were speaking up to it on earlier, and I agree, like that the actor is the most at risk because they can't wear the mask. Mm-hmm. So, everyone else kind of has to, or when you're, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we were talking about is the majority of who he was talking about is not necessarily. A lot of young people work on sets when they're PAs, when they're assistants on the set. So, as we know, a lot of young people are not compliant because they're not, they're out with their friends partying and stuff like that. But he basically threatened people and said he was going to fire them. And that's one thing you don't want to do is to piss Tom Cruise off on a production, because that might be the future of your job in Hollywood or working on any set right now is at risk because of this big name person pointing you out that you don't abide by the rules on the set. Okay. And so therefore you're difficult to work with. And one thing that we do know is people like working with one another. So if somebody's easy to work with on a set, chances are they'll be back on the set to work again.
Yep.
So, as we have seen here, all of these people work together because they work well together. They don't have any problems with each other. It's an easy shoot. It's already hard enough when you're working many hours on set, doing thousands of takes over in inclement weather, whatever it takes. You want to make sure that you're there with people that you like working with. So, well, thank you all. We will be following up. I guess we'll just we'll be probably maybe have you come back and talk about Certifiable or something like that, which would be really good. We could actually have you all come back and talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Expect an invite next year.
Actually, I was going to say you should come back in a character in costume, Jen.
Yes.
Oh,
totally.
Yes.
Great idea.
So we did do just one more thing. We did do a spin-off. Once you guys see the show, you'll understand why this is so great. But we did a spin-off where Gabby and Lex, which is Amy and myself, actually do an interview show too. So like those characters now interview people kind of like between two ferns style.
Yes.
So yeah, that's coming out in 2021.
I can't wait. So we'll definitely have you all back for that. I can't wait for this. So I can't wait to just.
I'm ridiculously excited about this.
Yeah, me too. Thank you all for coming and joining us today. We appreciate you so very much. Everybody, please go support this film, like, subscribe, follow our guest. Give them all the support that you can give them, and we look forward to more wonderful things coming from you all and seeing you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, let's pull up our next screen. And we are actually going on holiday. This is our holiday time. So we're going to be returning on Friday, January the 8th, 2021. So we want to wish everybody happy holiday. We will be enjoying time with our family and friends at this time, and we're going to miss
or social distantly enjoying. time with our family. And friends.
I'm enjoying time by myself for the next 2
That
weeks.
sounds so ideal, actually. I've been doing that for the past year, and it's really, really worked.
You know, Thanksgiving was already the best Thanksgiving ever, so I have a good feeling about Christmas.
Yeah, well, that I would say, I say family, I'm talking about immediate family. I'm not talking about going anywhere in particular, but you know, where you have a safe family environment, make sure that you are being safe. And as we always close out the show, because we're at the top of the hour, we want to actually pay attention specifically to our missing. Tonight we are featuring Amber Ayaz and Melissa Fu. According to the FBI, um, her alias is Mei Yi Wu. She's 34 years old, and that's Amber. She has brown hair, 180 pounds. She's Asian, black hair. I'm sorry, brown eyes, black hair, 5'9", and she's a female. She's with her daughter, Melissa Fu. And apparently, Amber was seen last wearing a black shirt, a black vest, fitted black pants with a white writing, and light colored shoes. Amber Ayaz and her daughter, Melissa Fu, were last seen on Friday, November 22nd, 2019 at approximately 6 p.m. at their residence located in the area of Michelson Drive and University Drive in Irvine, California. There are suspicious circumstances surrounding their disappearance, and 2 people seen in the vicinity of their residence near the time of their disappearance are being sought for questioning. The unknown individuals are possibly associated with a black Cadillac, an unknown model. They are described as follows: a Chinese female in her 40s, approximately 5'8", with average build and black hair worn in a bun. A Chinese male in his 40s, approximately 5'10", weighing about 190 pounds, with average build and short black hair. If you have any information concerning the kidnappings of these individuals, please contact the FBI's Los Angeles field office at 310-477-6565. That's 310-477-6565. Tips may be submitted anonymously online or at tipsfbi.gov. You may also contact the local FBI office or the nearest American embassy if they are in a foreign country. Our hearts go out to anybody who is missing, especially right now during the holidays. There's nothing more tragic than not having family with you at this time, but to know that they're missing and they're out there, and that there's a possibility that you, our audience, can help find them and locate them and provide some evidence to bring them back home. We thank you so very much for watching the show this evening. Once again, we will be out on vacation, returning on January the 8th, 2021. We wish all of you a very happy, safe, peaceful holiday. Please continue to be in good health and in good spirits. Take care.